Hey guys, thanks for coming. I'm Nick, and this is Real Life Money, where we talk about topics that schools don't. So let's get started. In this video, we're going over how to build an emergency fund. So we're going to be going over what an emergency fund is, how to build it up, why you should have it in the first place, and where to put it. So let's go. What an emergency fund is basically a pile of money that you have somewhere that when an emergency happens, you have the money for it, instead of falling on your ass and hurting your buns. You need that cushion of money so when you fall, it doesn't hurt as bad. Now, a good amount to start with an emergency fund would be maybe 1 or 2 paychecks, or even $1,000 to make things easy. Now, why you should have one is so you can feel more secured. You're not stressed out of your mind. If something happens, you have that cushion that can back you up. And you're not necessarily living paycheck to paycheck anymore because you have that pile of money stashed somewhere in case something goes wrong. And by the way, for you guys that didn't know, I do have another video that talks about living paycheck to paycheck and how it sucks. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description. So before we start off, we're going to go into what is an emergency. So pop quiz. I'm going to tell you a few situations and you're going to tell me if it is an emergency or not. No time to study. Let's go. Pop quiz time. Your car breaking down, getting a flat tire, or simply blowing up. That is an emergency. You not having money to pay your drug dealer. That is not an emergency. You being starving and that you need a steak dinner now. Not an emergency. If you lose your job and you cannot pay your bills on time, that is an emergency. You having no money left to go out with friends to bars to pick up hot dudes or chicks, that is not an emergency. And last question, a life or death situation that you could use money to live. That is an emergency. So I think you get the gist of it. I hope you understand what emergencies are now, and I hope you got 100 on the quiz. So moving on, how do we build up this emergency fund? So these are some ways that you could build up this emergency fund, and you should do this fairly quick because you need to have it. Emergencies could happen at any time. They are unpredictable, so you really need that 1 to 2 paycheck or $1,000 emergency fund in place like now. So starting off, do not eat out for a few nights. Do not go out to restaurants. This is expensive. Living like a broke college kid for a few weeks. Now this might suck. No, it will suck. But would you rather be a broke person your whole entire life, or just live like a broke student like we've done for a few weeks? You can also sell stuff online, like old textbooks, even clothes, games, siblings. Maybe not that last one. So now you know how to save up for an emergency fund. Now you have to realize where to put the money. Some examples of where you could put this money would be a checking account, savings account, a money market account, buried in your backyard, under your mattress, or in your toilet. Fact is, it doesn't matter where. If an emergency happens, you need it accessible right now. That is called liquid. Do not worry about interest. You're not going to make money off of this. And do not put it in a CD. That locks it up. You need it free. So once you start this process and you start making the ball roll, your life will start changing. You will not be broke anymore. You'll no longer have no money anywhere. You'll have that cushion. Instead of living paycheck to paycheck and wondering if you'll have money for something that comes up, you will now be like, I have money now. You'll be less stressed, and less stressed. Imagine that. So once you perform this and have that 1 to 2 paycheck or $1,000 emergency fund in place, we can finally start moving on to bigger and better things. One thing that we could do after building up this emergency fund would be tackling, destroying, and ripping apart your debt. Just imagine a life with no debt. It is possible. Now, another thing afterwards, after building your small emergency fund, would be building up to a fully funded emergency fund. And this could be, a lot of people say, maybe 3 to 6 months of living expenses. So I'll go into those things in other videos, guys. So if this helped open your mind a bit, like and subscribe to my channel, Real Life Money. We talk about this stuff like personal finance and development, which really relates to anyone. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.